Aging brings a mix of gifts and challenges. On one hand, there is wisdom gained, more time with family, and the freedom to enjoy life at a gentler pace. On the other, there are health concerns that naturally rise to the surface. For people over 60, one of the most pressing is stroke. A stroke can arrive suddenly, in a single moment, and change everything from speech and memory to mobility and independence. Seniors who dream of traveling, gardening, or simply playing with grandchildren can find those plans interrupted in a heartbeat. That's why learning how to protect the blood vessels that carry life-giving blood to the brain is so critical. The good news is that prevention is not as mysterious as it seems. While medical treatments and prescriptions have their place, daily food choices often hold hidden power. One of the most surprising and effective foods for vascular health is flax seeds. These tiny seeds may look ordinary, but they are packed with compounds that help keep blood vessels flexible, clean, and resilient. For seniors, that translates into lower stroke risk and more years of active, independent living. To appreciate why flax seeds are so important, it helps to understand how strokes really happen. They rarely strike out of nowhere. Instead, they build over years of changes inside the arteries. Picture a garden hose. When it's new, water flows freely, the walls stretch easily, and everything works smoothly. But leave it outside in the sun and weather for years, and the hose begins to stiffen. Dirt may build up inside. Eventually, one crack or blockage can stop the flow altogether. Arteries age in a similar way. High blood pressure, poor diet, lack of exercise, and stress slowly wear them down. The walls become less flexible, cholesterol and plaque build up, and eventually, blood flow to the brain can be blocked. That blockage is what we call a stroke. Now, imagine being able to slow down or even reverse some of those changes with something as simple as food. That's what flax seeds offer. They are one of nature's richest sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which keep vessels flexible. They're loaded with fiber, which helps sweep away cholesterol before it clogs arteries. And they contain lignans, plant compounds that act like tiny shields against cellular damage. Together, these three gifts help preserve the integrity of arteries long after the age when they usually begin to fail. Let's make this personal. Think about Robert, a 66-year-old grandfather who enjoys his morning walks. His father had a stroke at 70, and the memory still haunts him. At a recent doctor's visit, Robert's blood pressure and cholesterol were creeping upward. He felt caught between starting another prescription and wanting a natural approach. A friend suggested flax seeds. Skeptical at first, Robert began sprinkling ground flax into his oatmeal each morning. It was simple and barely changed the taste. 3 months later, at his follow-up visit, his cholesterol numbers had improved and his doctor noted healthier blood pressure trends. Robert still takes his medications, but now he feels empowered. He knows he's doing something proactive for his arteries, something small that adds up over time. That's the beauty of flax seeds. They're not exotic or expensive. You don't need complicated recipes or special equipment. Just grind them because whole seeds often pass through undigested and add a spoonful to yogurt, soups, smoothies, or even baked goods. The routine becomes second nature. More importantly, it becomes a quiet form of self-care, one that nourishes the body from the inside out. For seniors, small habits like this matter more than grand gestures. Stroke prevention isn't a single heroic act, it's the steady rhythm of daily choices, choosing to walk instead of sit, to drink water instead of soda, to eat colorful vegetables instead of processed snacks. Adding flax seeds fits perfectly into this rhythm. It may not feel dramatic, but each spoonful oils the hoses, sweeps out the debris, and reinforces the vessel walls that keep blood flowing to the brain. What makes this so encouraging is the sense of control it restores. Aging often feels like losing choices, but something as simple as a tablespoon of ground flax seeds reminds seniors that they still hold power over their health. They can take steps to reduce risk, to stay independent, and to keep living life on their own terms. And that confidence is just as valuable as the nutrients themselves. So the next time you see those little brown or golden seeds at the store, don't dismiss them as bird food. See them for what they truly are. Tiny protectors of your arteries, guardians against stroke, and daily companions on the journey of healthy aging. A spoonful a day is not just food, it's peace of mind, a small promise to your future self that you will keep your brain, your body, and your independence as strong as possible. When most people think about omega-3 fatty acids, their minds immediately go to fish, salmon, sardines, tuna, or maybe a bottle of fish oil capsules. While those sources are excellent, not everyone enjoys seafood, and not every senior wants to add another supplement to an already crowded cabinet. This is what makes flax seeds such an exciting discovery. They are one of the richest plant-based sources of alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, a form of omega-3 fatty acid that supports cardiovascular and brain health. For older adults, this means a daily spoonful of flax seeds can deliver many of the same benefits as fish in a simple, affordable, and gentle way. To understand why omega-3 South matters so much, it helps to look closely at blood vessels themselves. The innermost layer of your arteries, called the endothelium, is like a delicate film. It needs to remain smooth and elastic so blood can flow freely. As years go by, that layer can stiffen. Inflammation, high cholesterol, and oxidative stress turn it brittle, like old rubber that has lost its stretch. Once that happens, blood has to push harder to get through, raising pressure and causing tiny cracks. Plaque and clots are more likely to form, and the risk of stroke rises sharply. Omega-3 fatty acids from flax seeds change that picture. They integrate into the membranes of the vessel cells, restoring some of the lost flexibility. Think of them as natural lubricants, conditioning the vessel walls so they bend instead of crack. With more elasticity, blood pressure eases, circulation improves, and the chance of a clot catching on a rough spot in the lining decreases. For seniors, this flexibility can make the difference between steady blood flow and a dangerous blockage. But omega-3 South do more than soften artery walls, they also calm hidden fires inside the body. Inflammation is often called a silent killer because it smolders unnoticed for years, gradually damaging tissues. In the arteries, inflammation irritates the lining, creating spots where plaque can build. Over time, those plaques may rupture, setting off clots that block brain circulation. Omega-3 South reduce this inflammation, cooling the burn and giving the arteries a calmer environment. Another area where omega-3 South help is with triglycerides, a type of fat in the blood. High triglyceride levels thicken blood and raise the chance of plaque deposits. Flaxseed omega-3 South help bring triglycerides down, making the blood less sticky and reducing clot risk. It's like easing traffic on a busy highway, letting oxygen and nutrients flow more smoothly. The best part is that the benefits don't require huge amounts. A tablespoon of ground flax seeds daily is enough to make a difference. Consistency matters more than quantity, just as oiling a door hinge regularly keeps it moving without squeaks. A steady trickle of omega-3 South weaves into vessel walls, maintaining flexibility over time. Seniors don't need dramatic changes, just small, daily reinforcement. What's reassuring is how safe and gentle flaxseed omega-3 South are. Unlike some medications that thin the blood aggressively or bring uncomfortable side effects, flax seeds work in harmony with food. They provide steady, balanced protection without disrupting other routines. For seniors already managing multiple prescriptions, this is a relief. It means support without complication. It's also empowering for those who prefer plant-based solutions. Not everyone wants fish or capsules. Flax seeds make omega-3 South accessible to everyone, regardless of diet. They show that prevention doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. Sometimes it can be as simple as sprinkling a spoonful of ground seeds onto cereal or stirring them into yogurt. At the end of the day, omega-3 fatty acids from flax seeds defend seniors against stroke in three main ways. They restore flexibility to vessel walls. They calm inflammation that triggers plaque buildup, and they reduce triglycerides that thicken the blood. Together, these effects strengthen the body's defenses against one of the most feared health events of later life. So the next time you see those small golden or brown seeds, remember what they carry inside. They're not just plant food, they're vessels of resilience. For seniors determined to stay strong, independent, and stroke-free, flaxseed omega-3 South are daily armor, quiet, reliable, and profoundly effective. When most people think about fiber, they picture digestion. It's true, fiber is famous for keeping things regular, but for seniors worried about stroke, fiber does much more. Inside every spoonful of flax seeds is a powerful dose of both soluble and insoluble fiber, and together they act like silent guardians of blood vessels. They reduce cholesterol, smooth out blood sugar, and help maintain a healthy weight. Each of these actions lowers the risk of clots and blockages that can cut off blood flow to the brain. Let's start with cholesterol. One of the most dangerous contributors to stroke. Cholesterol itself isn't bad, it's a natural substance the body needs. But too much of the wrong kind, particularly LDL cholesterol, can settle into artery walls and harden into plaque. Over time, these plaques narrow the space where blood flows. If one ruptures, a clot can form and blood flow to the brain is suddenly blocked. That's the anatomy of a stroke. Here's where flaxseed fiber shines. Soluble fiber binds with cholesterol in the digestive system and carries it out of the body before it ever reaches the arteries. It works like a broom sweeping out harmful debris before it can pile up. Over weeks and months, this lowers LDL cholesterol, lightening the burden on arteries. Many seniors who add flax seeds to their diet find their cholesterol numbers improving without drastic changes elsewhere. That's because the fiber is quietly altering the chemistry of blood in their favor. Fiber also smooths out blood sugar spikes, which is especially critical for seniors living with diabetes or prediabetes. High blood sugar damages the delicate lining of blood vessels, making them prone to inflammation and plaque buildup. Flax seeds slow the release of sugar into the bloodstream, preventing sharp rises and falls. This steadier flow protects vessel walls from the sandpaper effect of excess sugar, keeping them healthier for longer. Weight management is another important piece of the puzzle. Extra weight, especially around the abdomen, puts more pressure on the circulatory system, raising blood pressure and stroke risk. Fiber helps here by promoting satiety. A bowl of oatmeal with flax seeds keeps seniors full longer, reducing the urge to snack on less healthy options. Over time, even small weight losses can ease strain on arteries. Think of it like taking bricks out of a backpack. You move more easily and with less stress. The benefits of fiber extend to gut health as well. Our intestines are home to trillions of bacteria that influence everything from digestion to inflammation. These microbes feed on fiber, producing compounds called short-chain fatty acids. These acids reduce inflammation throughout the body, including the arteries. So, every time a senior eats flax seeds, they're not just nourishing themselves, but also supporting a community of microbes that help defend against stroke. Consider Linda, a 74-year-old retired nurse. She had struggled with cholesterol for years and wanted to avoid adding more medications. She began adding a tablespoon of ground flax seeds to her yogurt at breakfast and another to her soup at lunch. Within 3 months, her cholesterol levels dropped significantly. She also noticed steadier energy and less afternoon fatigue. Linda's doctor encouraged her to keep up the habit, recognizing that the fiber in flax seeds was quietly reshaping her vascular health. Blood pressure is another area influenced by fiber. High blood pressure weakens arteries, making them prone to rupture. Diets rich in fiber are associated with lower blood pressure, partly because they help vessels stay flexible and partly because they support healthier body weight. Even modest reductions in pressure can dramatically reduce stroke risk. What makes fiber's role so powerful is how quietly it works. Seniors don't feel fiber sweeping away cholesterol or calming sugar spikes, but the results appear in lab tests, in steadier energy, and in the confidence that they're actively protecting their health. A spoonful of flax seeds daily might not seem like much, but it adds up to profound internal protection. Using flax seeds for fiber is simple. The key is grinding them, since whole seeds often pass through undigested. A coffee grinder or blender can prepare a week's supply, which should be stored in the fridge to keep oils fresh. Sprinkle a spoonful on cereal, stir into smoothies, or mix into baked goods. Just 1 to 2 tablespoons a day provides enough fiber to make a meaningful difference. At its core, fiber from flax seeds serves as a guardian of arteries. It sweeps cholesterol out before it clogs, steadies blood sugar so vessel walls aren't scarred, helps control weight to ease pressure on circulation, and feeds healthy microbes that calm inflammation. For seniors facing the frightening possibility of stroke, this is more than nutrition. It is steady, daily protection, gentle, reliable, and empowering. Beyond omega-3 south and fiber, flax seeds carry one more treasure that makes them exceptional for stroke prevention. Lignans. Lignans are special plant compounds found in the seed coat, and flax seeds contain more lignans than almost any other food on earth. For seniors, lignans act like guardians, protecting the blood vessels from the wear and tear of aging, while offering additional hormonal and antioxidant support. Every artery in the body faces constant stress. With each heartbeat, blood surges against the vessel walls. Over time, pressure, high cholesterol, and free radicals and stable molecules produced by metabolism and environmental stress damage the lining. Free radicals are like rust forming on metal pipes, slowly weakening the structure. This process, called oxidative stress, leaves arteries more vulnerable to inflammation and plaque buildup. That is where lignans shine. As powerful antioxidants, they neutralize free radicals before they can inflict damage. Think of them as tiny shields, coating vessel walls and slowing down the rusting process that accelerates stroke risk. For women over 60, lignans bring an extra benefit. After menopause, natural estrogen levels decline, and the loss of this protective hormone contributes to stiffening arteries and rising cardiovascular risk. Lignans, though weaker than estrogen, mimic some of its helpful effects. They gently support hormonal balance, offering protection without the risks of hormone replacement therapy. For postmenopausal women, this is like having a safety net: small, steady support for their arteries at a stage when stroke risk typically climbs. But lignans don't just guard against oxidative stress, they also help regulate blood pressure. Studies suggest flaxseed lignans can reduce both systolic and diastolic blood pressure, easing the constant strain on vessel walls. Combined with the omega-3 salt that soften arteries and the fiber that sweeps away cholesterol, lignans complete the protective trio, creating a powerful natural defense system for seniors. Let's put this into a real-world example. Imagine Eleanor, a 70-year-old retired teacher. After menopause, she noticed her cholesterol climbing despite her balanced diet. Her doctor mentioned arterial stiffness during a checkup, and she worried about stroke since her mother had suffered one at the same age. A friend suggested adding flax seeds to her morning smoothie. Within 6 months, her lab results improved, her LDL cholesterol was down, her blood pressure eased slightly, and she felt more energetic. What Eleanor didn't feel, but what was happening inside her body, was that lignans were guarding her arteries from oxidative stress and supporting her vessels in ways no medication alone could achieve. This is the beauty of flax seeds. They work quietly, almost invisibly, but the impact is profound. Every spoonful brings omega-3 salt to keep arteries flexible, fiber to keep them clean, and lignans to keep them protected. Seniors who embrace this habit often find reassurance in its simplicity. They don't need exotic supplements or complicated regimens, just a daily spoonful of ground flax seeds added to familiar meals. What's most encouraging is how flax seeds restore a sense of control. Aging can sometimes feel like losing choices, but flax seeds prove that small, intentional decisions still carry power. Stroke isn't inevitable, and seniors don't have to wait passively for fate. By adding flax seeds to breakfast or dinner, they're taking an active role in protecting their brain and their independence. And it isn't only about adding years to life, it's about adding life to years. Seniors want to walk with friends, play with grandchildren, travel, garden, laugh, and remain sharp and steady. Stroke threatens all of that. Flax seeds, though small, help guard those dreams. They can't erase every risk, but they shift the odds in your favor, quietly and powerfully. The message is hopeful. You are not powerless against stroke. Every small daily action adds up. Each spoonful of flax seeds is a step toward healthier arteries, clearer circulation, and a stronger future. Seniors don't have to surrender independence to fear. They can claim it with something as simple as a seed. So when you see those tiny golden or brown seeds, remember what they represent. They're not just food for birds or health nuts. They are protectors, defenders, and allies. In their simplicity lies their strength. And in their daily use lies your best defense against stroke.